Hey everyone, it is Mathel here, as per usual, and welcome to my first ever wanding character on the Torment League that I've just started. I'm now level 84, and it's a Kinetic Blast character, the new skill. So that is the skill I'm using. To start off, I'll mention I haven't actually used a wand character before. I've usually been dissuaded by the fact that Power Siphon is so passive, gear, and link heavy. So I've shied away from it more often than not, but Kinetic Blast seems to be a step in the right direction for me. So to start with Kinetic Blast, it starts off at 14 mana cost at level 1. Yeah, at level 1. By level 9 it upgrades to 15. By level 16, no, 17 it goes to 16. So you can level it up here and there, and each level gives you extra physical damage. Every 2 points of quality gives you 1% of area effect for the actual skill itself. And the way the skill works is, if we take out our GMP, now we're just essentially single targeting. You shoot one projectile and a few things explode. So often it is very desirable to go with LMP or GMP. GMP as soon as you can afford it. So then when you hit it, whenever it lands or hits a target, a whole bunch of explosions come out. So the important thing to run with this skill is either LMP or GMP. GMP is preferable because it kind of shotguns, as people would have experienced by now. The other thing is Pierce works incredibly well for this skill, but the Pierce gem itself does not seem necessary to me. I have 40% Pierce through my passives, and it is more than enough, I feel. If you go for the 100% PS with the gem as well, it's kind of overkill and in my opinion a waste of a gem slot. So with my 4 link I'm going Kinetic Blast, GMP, Wed, and crit damage. You can go Power Charge on crit instead of crit damage. But the other important thing is you don't need chain. A lot of people run chain, but it feels unnecessary to me, and that's one of the reasons I like Kinetic Blast so much. Because it's not as heavy on the mana cost because you don't need chain. As opposed to Power Siphon, you definitely need chain. So that's that to kick things off with Power Siphon. My build itself is almost purely elemental. The thing is, with wand passives, a lot of them are very, they're hybrid, so 15% increase in damage instead of physical or elemental. Same with those. That one's just a good one for physical 2 lightning, and then accuracy, attack speed, damage per power charge. They're kind of general talents. So a physical wand, which is what I'm currently using, benefits you just as much. So this wand here I bought for 8 chaos. The most important thing is crit chance, but high or semi-high kind of physical will help a lot because right now I am running off of purely mana leech, which comes from my Worm's Mold. I've been using this belt for 80 levels and yeah, it's still holding its own. You need 2% mana leech somewhere on the tree to make my build work. Most of my damage is elemental though, as you can see there's a bit of physical, a whole bunch of elemental. I will slam Herald of Ice in there when I can afford to, which is a couple more levels of reduced mana and getting a few more passives. Maybe this one or maybe this one. I need at least another 4% on top of the 12 I have here and my Alpha's Howl. The great thing about Kinetic Blast is it's fairly cheap and effective. This entire build on Torment put together has cost me something like 3 exalts, and a lot of my gear is still really garbage. I've been using this ring for 60 levels. That ring's just good for resist. One cost me 8 chaos. Alpha's Howl cost me an exalt. I found this shield, it's fine. And I bought the belly for an exalt, which is an overpay. And it's only a 4 link. That costs nothing, and that costs 10 chaos. And you can see the effectiveness on my build, which, yeah, I will have a link posted, but mostly we're buffing out elemental damage and crit chance, as well as 1 damage. We have almost 4k life with quite a substantial lack of life on our items. But you can see that it's really, really powerful. So we get our power charges through power charge on crit, no, not power charge on crit, through Assassin's Mark. linked to Curse on Hit and Herald of Thunder. But on top of that, my single target is Power Siphon. So that helps you to maintain your 6 power charges. So with my 6 power charges, with my fairly garbage gear, and a 4-link, we are running 13k DPS on GMP. And the clear speed is incredible. Like, I can just... Kinetic Blast is so good with Pierce. What happens, I will do that later. What happens with Pierce is every time you Kinetic Blast and a projectile hits, it will explode. But since it pierces, it keeps going. So then if it hits something else behind it, it will also still explode and cause lots of AoE damage. So when you're shooting into large packs, you just clean them up immediately. And that's with 40% Pierce, which is why I feel the gem is a bit of a waste, because 40% is more than enough. And this clearing speed with the AoE is already incredible, which is why I feel Chain is also not needed. And then I learnt from Ziggy D on the podcast, I believe it was, that Frostwall is a really cool interaction with Kinetic Blast, because you can then create your own artificial walls for all the explosions to happen. Because that makes your single target a lot stronger. When you shoot, it doesn't explode until it hits something. If you make your own frost wall and then shoot into it, right behind a boss for example, you can have some insane single target there. My Power Siphon still does a lot of single target, so I keep both. But I feel there is room for both in this build. Oops. Let's just try and kill this. Right now my build doesn't have Val Pact or Life Leech. Life Leech comes with a 5-link. But I managed Reflect and basically living through Jade Flask and Ondars. And Reflect is not a big deal at my damage level. At the absolute end game of gear, Val Pact will be desirable and you will have to work some passives around to grab it. But 13k DPS, I think even up to 20k I will be okay without Val Pact. And as you can see, I clear things so easily and so quickly that Life Leech is not an issue at the moment either. But that will be my 5-link. And I will give an example on the boss, hopefully. So there's the boss. If I shoot through him, it's kind of okay. If I put a wall behind him, let's try putting a wall right next to him there. You can explode him thanks to Kinetic Blast exploding on the wall. You can even put the wall in front of things and shoot through it because it pierces, and a lot of explosions will happen right next to him. That's a really cool interaction that I learnt from someone else, which was Ziggy D. Aside from that, yeah, the skill is actually really easy to level with too. So I started with this skill at level 24 as soon as I could, and it was so easy to level with. I used Kinetic Blast plus LMP on a 2-link, that's all. I mean, that's all it took. It's been a really effective build so far. In the end game I'll have about 5k life, I'll have about 35k GMP DPS. So things get pretty insane. And I'm really enjoying Kinetic Blast, and I hope you guys decide to have a go too. Because this is my first Wander, and I'm glad I finally got around to doing it. Wands are a lot of fun. Yeah, Power Siphon, just as I mentioned, I have been leveling both Power Siphon and Kinetic Blast. Because as I said, I am using some physical damage which helps me leech mana, which is how my mana is currently sustaining. If you want to use a pure elemental one, you're going to have to run Clarity as well, and that'll probably be off of your life. Gets a little harder. Using Val Power Siphon just for a bit of AoE, hardly necessary. Kinetic Blast does more than enough. Got our Frost Wall attached to increase duration. Anyway, our Power Siphon attached to faster attacks, crit damage, weapon alley. Just big single target. Aside from that, Herald of Ice to come when we can, but not yet. Need some more levels and some more gem levels. So this was, yeah, my Kinetic Striker. The name there, by the way, is because I was playing Static Strike, and I started playing Kinetic Blast, and I kept confusing it and saying Kinetic Strike. People made fun of me, and now this is a Kinetic Striker. Deal with it. I also think it kind of flows a bit better than Kinetic Blast. This character is a Kinetic Striker. Yes. Yeah, you can see this character in action plenty on my stream at twitch.tv/mathhall1, which I'm streaming every day, and I will continue leveling this guy to at least probably around level 90. So I'd say another good days or 1 or 2 days worth of gameplay. Yeah, pretty cheap gear. Pretty fun character. I recommend you guys try it. And yeah, I'll see you guys in another video or on stream. Thanks for watching. See you guys later.